Gu Ji, who has worn the world for 999 miles, is about to face the final task. This is a world where she needs to explore and unlock progress bars on her own, and now all she needs to do is follow the task. P.S. No CP, the female lead just wants to complete the task and fulfill her wish. This is a novel with a relatively mild tone. Good deeds are rewarded with good deeds, and evil deeds are rewarded with evil deeds. Good people should have enough food, clothing, and warmth to live happily every day. Chapter 1. Ultimate Dungeon opens, a new inner world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A void silver-white temporal gate is carved with exquisite patterns, and one can vaguely see the divine beast imprints resembling dragon claws and phoenix tails. The time and space gate quickly rippled, and a black mech with flashing lights and various cracks spread out from the door. Gu Ji gasped for breath and quickly crawled out of the mecha. Gone. I almost can't come back. Fortunately, the nano-hypernuclear detonator she installed in the last few minutes finally exploded. The continuous explosions of the spacecraft were like a grand fireworks display, very disappointing. Unfortunately, her escape posture was too awkward, and she didn't turn back to appreciate it for a while. This is the rest station for the system space. It is said to be a rest station, but in fact, there is not even a decent chair. Even the clothes on my body were taken from the previous dungeon. Gu Ji clicked on the chip, OMO. 999 copies completed. She has experienced everything from primitive tribes to future technology, from land to ocean to space, from ancient times to modern times to the end of the world, and so on. The ultimate task is to complete 1,000 dungeon missions in the inner world and fulfill one's personal wishes. As long as you want something, there is nothing that the main system cannot provide. And Gu Ji's wish is to resurrect her parents and younger siblings who died at the end of the world, so that she can live in any inner world she has completed until her death. Now she has just successfully returned from the future world, which is composed of countless planets and managed by the Federation. Various future technologies have dazzled Gu Ji, especially mecha battles, zergs, space battleships, and so on. If the boys from her original world were to personally control and try them, they would probably go crazy. Unfortunately, she is not very interested in these tasks. She prefers infrastructure-related tasks. Ding! Congratulations to player Gu Ji, who has completed 999 world dungeon missions and is about to enter the ultimate dungeon. Please be prepared, the cold metallic sound came from all directions. Player Gu Ji, please be prepared. Countdown 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 Transmission begins. The space.time gate emits deafening sounds, the light is dazzling yet gentle, but in the blink of an eye, the empty space is empty. Ding! Hello player Gu Ji, I am Yun, the time and space administrator of your mission. The current world situation requires players to explore individually. Effective clues during exploration will be presented in the progress bar. When the progress bar reaches 99%, I will issue the final clearance task for this mission. Ding! You have a new task, please check it out. Gu Ji shook his head. Every time the time and space gate teleported, it made a loud and noisy noise, and complaints and suggestions were useless. The scenery before me is very bleak. Everywhere in sight were dilapidated high-rise buildings, mottled walls seemed to have been corroded by some liquid, and the road surface on the street was covered in cracks and potholes. There are also many scrapped cars piled up on the roadside. There are still many mobile people. Missing arms and broken legs do not affect their movement, and they occasionally twitch a few times. Gu Ji is very familiar with this scene. She realized that the world was destroyed by the impending end, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, zombies, mutated animals, and so on, leaving humanity with no home. It wasn't until 6 months later that every country concentrated all its armed forces and supplies, and established major shelters. Unfortunately, neither she nor her family lived to enter the shelter that day. It seems that this is an apocalyptic type of inner world. The inner world dungeons she took over also had apocalyptic survival types. Her identity was either to sell her assets after returning from the apocalyptic rebirth, and then crazily buy, hoard and build her own shelter, or to become a dominant player in various killing due to the cheats provided by the system. As long as she perseveres with the tasks released by the system, the reward after completing the level is only a diamond-shaped transparent fragment, which looks very similar to an anime she has watched before. The fragments of the 4-soul jade inside are just like this, with different colors. Guji, who was able to complete 999 dungeons alive, has deep insights. When she opened her eyes, there were tens of thousands of people at the rest station, and now she is the only one left. Go, that's the way. The location she is currently in is an open space next to the intersection, and the surrounding buildings are already in a state of disrepair, with no signs of people still living today. Guji lifted his head and could see the hotel behind him, which had dozens of floors. The previously dilapidated neon sign of the hotel was hanging unsteadily on the roof. Xianyan Hotel. The walls of the hotel, except for the first and second floors, are still brand new. The walls above the third floor are all covered with gray-white cement gray, and there are also many traces of animals and plants climbing over the walls. The task is not urgent. She first looks at her own panel. Guji. Level 999, Physical Fitness. Weak, Skill. None, Recycled, Note. This mission is the ultimate dungeon. The props obtained from previous dungeons have been recycled and cannot be used. The skills obtained from previous dungeons have been recycled and cannot be used. The knowledge related to martial arts combat, marksmanship, spells, high-tech production, etc. has been sealed. Guji was dumbfounded. Now she has become a newcomer panel with no strength in her hands and no decent weapon on her body. No, at least the newcomers still have a new gift package. Just hold on. Let's take a look at the hotel first. From the outside, the hotel looks very large, at least 5 stars or above. But after entering, it looks very small, just like the reception desk on the first floor of a regular hotel. The decoration is particularly average and does not meet the 5-star standard at all. In the center is the reception desk, with only a gray marble table and a backrest chair, and only a hanging chandelier above the head. The door is a glass door with electronic automatic sensing. On the left are several small single-person sofas, and on the right is an L-shaped marble bar-shaped table with several machines placed on it. Next to it are also 2 glass cabinets that are close to 2 meters high. There are stairs on both sides of the reception desk and passages on both sides. Currently, there are only 2 rooms on each side. The room is a single room, with nothing inside except a wooden bed, table, chairs, and a toilet. However, the area is quite decent, and it looks like it's around 30 square meters. The 4 rooms are all of the same size. However, what Guji was curious about was that there was a gray mist behind this passage, and he couldn't see what was inside. He could only reach out and touch the hard wall. There is also a thick metal chain at the staircase of the first and second floors, and a metal lock larger than her palm on top. Whether she wants to cross it or crawl in from below, she has failed one by one. After seeing the entire appearance of the first floor, Gujitsai slowly opened the chip light screen to check the task. Ding! Congratulations to player Guji for taking over the Doomsday Hotel. The hotel's functions, decorations, rooms, and more are not fully open yet. Currently, only 4 single rooms, 101/102/103/104, are available. The hotel is located within a 3-meter radius and can resist any attack. The area inside the hotel is under player Guji's absolute control. Rental task. Initial room 0/4, no guests living. Task reward. Single room +2, consumption task. Spend 1,000 coins or more to unlock a double room type, 0/1000. This place where birds don't poop, there are zombies everywhere outside. Is there a ghost coming to stay in a hotel? Guji couldn't help roast, but it was impossible for her to go out to solicit customers. She's just going out now with a pack of walking feed. Guji placed the backrest chair at the door, lazily leaning against it, holding a juice cup in one hand and slowly drinking the juice. The machines on the L-shaped bar are water dispensers and juice dispensers. The cabinet next to it is filled with instant noodles, ham, rye bread, and self-heating rice. The water dispenser and ham are priced at 1 coin per serving, 2 coins for rye bread, 3 coins for fruit juice, and 8 coins for self-heating rice. There are both rice, meat, and vegetables available. As a hotel owner, she naturally doesn't need to spend any money. I've finished drinking all the juice, not to mention people, I can't even see ants and mosquitoes. ##### Preface. This book is not a traditional female protagonist, I have my own setting, which is related to my later development and ending. Some people may think that the female lead is too useless and relies on the system for everything, but which system article doesn't rely on the system? And the system of this book is also highlighted in the background later on, it's not just about the system. Having a deeper background and story. I have always hoped to write a redemption book. After all, the end of the world is just a fantasy. Have we ever experienced it? No. But I hope there is a place to place hope in times of hardship. So the original intention of this book is because of this. The female protagonist is just an ordinary person, Even though she has experienced so many worlds, she is just doing tasks, which can be understood as a game of passing levels. After learning the plot, she completes each task according to the clues provided by the game. Those tasks are just to screen out the people who are suitable for the final ultimate task. The true identity of the female lead will also be revealed later. Because I initially thought a lot about the settings I wrote, I incorporated a lot of them. Haha, you can cross off the treasure at any time when you see something you don't like. There are many good books on tomatoes, and there will always be one that suits you. I hope we can gather and disperse well, and I also hope everyone can show mercy. Scoring has a significant impact on income. I don't like to use suffering to gain sympathy, but this benefit is indeed my only source of income, and my body can only support me to use my hands and brains. This is my first step and also my first novel, and I want to write it in its entirety. Thank you also to every treasure who supports me. Chapter 2. Binhai City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As time approached, it was evening. Guji ordered a self-heating rice with pickled pork and pickled vegetables. There are 3 flavors of self-heating rice. Fish-flavored shredded pork, pickled pork with pickled vegetables, and potato curry chicken. Each dish has a purification capacity of 300 G, with a thick layer of natural rice on the bottom and plums on top. The stewed, rotten, and sweet pork belly consists of 5 large pieces. The sauce seeped into the rice, and a spoonful of rice was served with pickled vegetables and pork belly. The taste was particularly fragrant, no worse than the star chef she had tried in the modern world. Except for the zombies that have been wandering for 3 meters, which is a bit appetizing, they are actually okay. She has lived in even the most difficult inner world, and has had the days of eating bark and digging wild vegetables at the beginning. Having a safe place like now, having food to eat, and drinking juice is already a happy beginning. Hey, but where does she sleep tonight? Ding, hello player Gujio, your living bedroom is accessed through a small door below the stairs. After eating and drinking enough, she looked outside and saw that it was getting late. Apart from the chandelier hanging on the first floor of her hotel, it was dark all around. Forget it, let's go see how well we sleep first. At this moment, she noticed that there was a small wooden door behind the revolving downstairs. Pushing open the door, there was a grassy area where there was a 2-story small Western-style house. There was a stone-paved road from the entrance to the Western-style room, and there were several street lights on both sides of the road. illuminate the surroundings brightly. And even further away, just like what I saw in the hotel today, it was all shrouded in fog and seemed to be an area waiting to be unlocked. The small villa covers an area of 120 square meters. The first floor has a living room, kitchen, and bathroom. The second floor has a study, a dressing room, and a bedroom. There is also a long balcony outside the bedroom. The living room is a French window with sky blue curtains hanging high above it. Furniture and appliances are everywhere. In the bedroom, there is a 1.8*2M soft cushion bed, and a thin projection machine is hanging on the wall facing the bed. The screen inside the machine is in the area directly in front of the hotel gate, and it can be viewed from different directions by pressing the up, down, left, and right buttons with a remote control. Gu Jiumei took a hot bath in the bathroom, changed into a camisole silk sleepwear, and dried her freshly washed black long hair with a hair dryer. She casually tied up the headband. There was nothing to say overnight. I slept soundly this night. It's a pity that there are too few kinds of food unlocked in the cabinet. She can only drink juice and rye bread in the morning. She prefers to drink hot sweet soybean milk, as well as fried fried dough sticks, xiaolongbao, soup dumplings, or a bowl of hot soup with pepper. The taste of rye bread is actually good. The bread is soft and has a strong aroma of rye, even bigger than her fist. After drinking another glass of juice, she is completely full. Currently, there is only orange juice and apple juice available. I drank apple juice yesterday and orange juice this morning. Having eaten and drunk enough, Gu Ji appeared idle. He stood in the defense area, reached out his hand to lure nearby zombies around, then quickly withdrew his hand and watched as the zombies rushed towards the defense shield one by one, making a thumping sound. Some even accidentally broke their hands and feet, causing chaos in the scene. Watching them wandering around in confusion, hey, it's exciting. Now her body is just an ordinary body, without any defense or attack methods. After playing with zombies for a while, I feel tired and bored. Oh my god, give me a person. Men and women can be old, small, tall, short, fat, thin. Sun Yuyang tightly held the weapon in his hand, while his younger brother and sister fiercely covered their mouths and dared not make any noise. They allowed sweat to flow into their eyes and dared not easily wipe them off with their hands. They could only blink and shed tears. Feeling several small hands firmly grasping his hem, Sun Yuyang felt an indescribable bitterness in his heart. He is now a second-level superpower. His younger brother has just awakened his superpower, while his younger sister does not. People who have awakened their abilities will be automatically assigned to various teams by the base, and Sun Yuyang, because he is young, willing to work hard, and hard-working, applied for a spot with the captain to include his younger brother in his team. But he didn't trust leaving his sister alone at the base. There are a total of 3 bases in Binhai City, 1A. Level base, 1B. Level base, and 1C. Level base. They reside in the C. Level Suyang base, where he is considered one of the top 2,000 superpowers. With the rewards of team exploration missions, although he is hungry and satisfied, he is already much better than survivors without superpowers. At least he and his younger siblings have a separate room to sleep in. But some time ago, their team found several boxes of baijiu in the underground warehouse of an abandoned hotel. Wine is a good thing. You can exchange a lot of points, and the points can be exchanged for food, drink, and medicine in the base. For a moment, each member of the team had joy on their faces, but it was also because they were too happy that they didn't notice a team following them in. Because of these boxes of baijiu, they broke out a fight. Although there was no death, everyone was somewhat at odds and thus became enemies. The captain of that team is really a beast. He's almost 50 years old, and he actually has a crush on his 7-year-old sister. Today is his younger brother's first mission with the team. Thinking of that old Biden, Sun Yuyang dared not leave his sister alone in the base. He doesn't trust his neighbors to help him at all. The father of that old Biden's wife is a 4th-level superpower and a considerable manager in the base. Relying on his father.in.law, this old Biden has caused a lot of harm to those incompetent women on the base. I offended him and there was no good life at the base. Well, their team offended that old Biden by sending them a task to search for supplies at the once bustling shopping mall in the city center. Their team, except for the captain who is a 3rd-level fire-type superpower, the remaining few are all 1st and 2nd level. He is a 2nd-level earth-type superpower, as well as a 2nd-level water-type and a 1st-level wood-type. In addition, his newly awakened brother is also a 1st-level water-type. I am still carrying my sister who has no supernatural powers. If it weren't for Sun Yuyang's repeated assurance of his sister's safety, he would be fully responsible for it. If the zombie was lured due to his sister's reasons, he would be responsible for diverting it himself. Otherwise, the team wouldn't have agreed for him to bring his sister. They usually take on tasks that are less than 10 kilometers away, but now they have arrived at the city center street, which is 30 kilometers away. But what can be done? With their strength, they can go to the other 2 shelters and their lives may not be as good as they are now. Starting from the base to the street of the shopping square, I ran and hid all the way, and even if I couldn't do it, I killed dozens of 1st and 2nd level zombies. I arrived safely all the way, but the bustling street is the bustling street. They actually encountered a zombie swarm, which even contained 7 or 8 4th-order zombies. Chapter 3. The Strange Girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The zombie swarm discovered them. They encountered many zombies while running, and eventually dispersed. And he held his sister in one hand and ran all the way, but his stamina slowly became unsustainable. Now the 3 of them are hiding in an abandoned clothing store, but fortunately there is a small door inside, which should be a place to change clothes. We cannot continue to stay here. Sun Yuyang cautiously opened the door, and several zombies wandered not far from the door. There were many packaged clothes scattered on the ground, but many of them were already in tatters. Others picked up the good ones and casually put more than a dozen pieces on their sister's body. Brother, it's so hot. It's July now, and the temperature outside has reached 45 degrees. With more than a dozen clothes on, Sun Ling is so hot that she can't breathe anymore. She can only whisper in her brother's ear. Be patient, Xiao Ling. If you wear more clothes, you won't be afraid of zombies catching you. Wait for my brother to carry you on his back, you must firmly wrap around his neck, remember. Sun Ling blinked and quickly nodded a few times. It's almost 10 o'clock, and outside, besides the sand and dust rolled up by the wind, only the tattered cans make a jingling sound on the ground. After hearing the sound, the zombie quickly rushed over and shook its head as it wandered around. Sun Yuyang picked up many hangers, all made of metal texture. Along the way, he attracted some zombies by throwing hangers, and he wanted to run back to the area where the base is located. If it's at night, you can't see your fingers and it's even harder to walk. The goddess of luck did not stand on his side. He could only carry his sister on his back and run all the way. His younger brother, who was already a superpower, naturally had better physical fitness than ordinary people, but he was still a child and soon couldn't hold on anymore. Xiaochen, can you still run? If you persist, let's find a better building and hide. Sun Chen stretched out his tongue and kept swinging, feeling too tired, too hot, and too thirsty. He felt his heart ache so much that it was about to explode. Sweat had already blurred my eyes. However, in his confusion, he seemed to see a large piece of transparent glass, and there was someone sitting next to it. Brother! 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 Look over there. Is there someone there? After hearing his brother's intermittent words, Sun Yuyang wiped his eyes hard. There's really someone. Gu Ji saw the 3 people rushing out of the intersection early on, followed by a group of zombies. The surrounding zombies seemed to be attracted by the sound of their running and ran towards them one after another. Guji quickly extended his hand and waved at them, "This way. Run this way." Sun Yuyang didn't expect that there were still people living alone in this abandoned place. Without considering so much, Sun Yuyang poured out all the remaining powers in his body. More than 1 meter high earthen walls rose one by one from the ground, isolating most of the zombies outside. Sun Chen also kept releasing water balls and smashing them at the group of zombies. When they stepped into the 3-meter safe area of the hotel and didn't have a chance to ask Gu Ji why he was here alone, the three of them looked at a group of zombies rushing towards them with a bitter expression on their faces. Sun Yuyang tightly held his younger brother and sister in his arms, closed his eyes, and waited quietly for death. Do you want to open your eyes and take a look? While still wondering why the zombie didn't bite him, Sun Yuyang heard a crisp sound in his ear. When Sun Yuyang opened his eyes, he watched the zombies wandering around in confusion, as if he couldn't see them. Turn your head in shock. The girl in front of me is wearing a beige dress and a pair of blue sandals on her feet. These are not the key points, the key is that the girl's face is dry and clean. My whole body is super clean from top to bottom. The exposed skin is fair and clean. A clean young girl living alone in a bustling city center filled with zombies looks strange no matter what. Hello, I am Gu Ji, the owner of this hotel. You. Hello. Sun Yuyang stuttered in response before turning his mind. Brother. Yeah. Brother, look, those zombies didn't even see us. Sun Ling immediately opened her eyes when she heard the sound. Seeing that the zombies didn't attack them, she happily shook her brother's arm. Welcome to. The girl raised her head and covered her forehead with her hand, squinting as if recognizing something. Do you need to modify the hotel name? No, forget it, she's just a name loser. If you ask her to name her, she would rather fight with zombies. Moreover, the original name of the hotel was quite pleasant, so it will not be changed. Moreover, local residents may have heard of the name of this 5-star hotel to some extent, which will also be beneficial for advertising and attracting customers in the future. Welcome to the Xianyan Hotel. The area within 3 meters of our hotel is a safe area, so there is no need to worry about zombies stepping in and attacking. Sun Yuyang seemed to have heard some incredible words, and his already quite big eyes widened even wider. Why don't we take a look first? Gu Ji smiled and pointed inside. Sun Yuyang pulled his younger brother with his left hand and his sister with his right hand into the induction door. Light. The hanging chandelier above is emitting a bright light. Surprisingly, there is electricity. You should know that in the apocalypse, even if there are solar panels and generators in the shelter, they can only be used at night. Except for the management, high-level psychics, and some store areas, ordinary survivors, and low-level psychics cannot enjoy them. What to do if it's too dark to see at night, so I can only use a basin to burn firewood and debris. Not only does it have a strong smell, but it also has a lot of black smoke. And it's still daylight now, and the hotel still has lights on. How wasteful. Sun Yuyang looked at the young girl ahead with a heart-wrenching expression on his face. The girl looked indifferent and said, Our hotel provides food and accommodation services. You only need gold/rare minerals and crystal nuclei to exchange for crystal coins. In the hotel, all safety is the responsibility of our hotel, and there is no need to worry about zombie attacks or personnel struggles. The use of any abilities in the hotel is prohibited. Of course, we can't use any special abilities. Upon hearing this, Sun Yuyang quickly mobilized the incomplete supernatural energy in his body, unable to sense it. This place cannot use abilities. Without superpowers, it's like a fish being slaughtered by someone on the fishing board. It's impossible not to panic, everything here is so strange. Sun Yuyang is not foolish, on the contrary, he has a high IQ. Before the end of the day, he was a college student majoring in online communication. Unfortunately, just a few months into college, the end has arrived. At first, people thought it was just an ordinary weather disaster, but with power and water outages, traffic paralysis, major stores being looted, and order collapsing, people finally realized in despair that the end had come. Chapter 4. Exchange Crystal Coins. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Sun Yuyang swallowed his saliva. I'm too thirsty, my throat feels like it's been burned by fire. Sun Ling also took off all the clothes she was wearing early, and her face turned red. Brother, it's hot and uncomfortable. The little girl's voice was soft, with a hint of crying, and she quickly hugged the man's thigh and said, "Is there a crystal nucleus?" Guji asked. Sun Yuyang quickly nodded and said, "Yes. Binhai can recharge and exchange for crystal coins in this hotel, and can purchase water and food from the machines on the bar and nearby merchandise cabinets." Sun Yuyang understood every word the girl said, but when they were connected together, he couldn't understand water. Food. Is there one here? How many crystal coins can a first-order crystal core be exchanged for? Now Sun Yuyang can't care about anything else, and a first-order crystal is nothing to him. Even if deceived, I still admit it. Guji breathed a sigh of relief and finally became popular. Fortunately, it wasn't a poor guy who came. The first-level crystal core can be exchanged for 200 crystal coins. How can I exchange it? Place the crystal nucleus in this white machine. Guji pointed to a snow-white square machine on the registration desk. Sun Yuyang hesitated for a moment, but ultimately threw a first-order crystal nucleus into it. Didi recharged successfully, the machine made a mechanical sound and then spit out a black card with only a string of numbers, 001. No, he won't be the first to change, will he? The water is there. I see your younger brother and sister are already extremely thirsty. How about changing to a few glasses of water to drink? Guji looked at the little girl's face, which was a bit pale and her lips were dry and cracked, and quickly reminded her. Sun Yuyang quickly walked to the marble tabletop, where there were actually cold and hot water outlets under the machine. He aimed the scanning QR code on the back of the black card at the machine's scanning port, and after thinking for a moment, Sun Yuyang ordered 3 cups of cold water. Watching the lid of the machine automatically lift up, 3 cups filled with clear water were slowly pushed out. Sun Yuyang picked up one of the cups. Ice. After taking a small sip, I felt the sweet ice water flowing down my throat and reaching my internal organs, which was comfortable. Hurry up. This water has no odor. There is no burning pain either. After waiting for several minutes and confirming that there was nothing unusual, Sun Yuyang quickly took a big sip and handed the other 2 glasses of water to his younger brother and sister. The water is a bit cold, drink slowly. Sun Chen is an extraordinary person with much better physical fitness. He quickly lifted his head and took a few breaths while holding the cup, finishing the entire cup. And my younger sister was very obedient, drinking slowly one by one, but her face gradually improved. The 3 of them felt the moisture in their throats and the coolness brought by the cold water, sweeping away their exhaustion. Surprisingly, only 3 crystal coins were deducted from 3 cups of water. And a first-order crystal nucleus can be exchanged for 200 crystal coins. Oh my, is this the price of cabbage? It's a free gift. You should know that the water sources in the world have been polluted long ago, and the water sources in the base are all purified by healing supernatural beings. Even though they have been purified by supernatural beings, the water still has a bitter and sour taste. Drinking it for a long time can still cause some harm to the body, but for supernatural beings, that damage is not a big deal. And a bottle of water as big as a mineral water bottle requires at least 3 first-order crystal nuclei. And here, one can drink 200 cups. People who can still control so many pure water sources in the apocalypse, what a powerful force must be behind it. In a few moments, Sun Yuyang was greatly vigilant in his heart. He absolutely couldn't cause trouble here. Fortunately, the boss seemed gentle and has always been polite when speaking. Brother. There's a lot of food here. Sun Chen lay with both hands on the glass cabinet, his eyes widened and his face pressed against the glass. The colorful packaged food was painted with the appearance of food, and he looked like he was eating well. Ham sausages only cost 1 crystal coin, and a bucket of instant noodles only costs 2 crystal coins. Sun Yuyang looked at the young girl with an indescribable expression. How wealthy is it to support the boss's family, but this 5-star hotel was already famous in the local area before the end of the day. It seems that this young girl is not the child of the owner behind this hotel, is it? It's not impossible either. But are they going to reopen a hotel here? But it's selling too cheap, isn't it? And self-heating rice. Boss, is this really true? At the moment Sun Yuyang saw the self-heating rice, he was instantly hungry. Watching the dishes painted on the packaging so lifelike, even if he didn't smell the taste, the craving insects were almost lured out. Watching the young man staring with bright big eyes, Gu Ji suddenly remembered the husky she had raised in the original world. Their eyes are all so big, all so round, all so bright. Yes, just scan the code. Gu Ji waved his hand. Sun Yuyang ordered a portion of pickled pork with pickled vegetables. In less than 2 seconds, the boxed rice fell out of the machine. It had been too long since he had eaten self-heating rice, and it had been 7 years since the end. He almost forgot how to handle it, but fortunately there was a step-by-step tutorial on the packaging. After waiting for a while, I touched the box and it was already hot. Sun Yuyang quickly lifted the lid. The strong meat aroma and the salty taste of pickled Chinese cabbage directly hit you. It's really meat. Quickly picked up a spoon and scooped out a full spoonful, stuffing it into my mouth. The soft and glutinous pork belly, crispy and fragrant pork skin, mixed with sour and savory plum vegetables, and full, sweet and hot rice were all too satisfying in one bite. After confirming that there were no issues with the rice, Sun Yuyang quickly switched to 2 other types. So the 3 of them can switch to eat. There is an old single sofa next to the hall, and 3 people sit together holding self-heating rice. Woo-woo, brother, take it easy. Sun Ling's mouth was bulging and he occasionally praised. In no time, all 3 boxes of rice were eaten clean by them, and even the sauce in the box was licked clean by them. Sun Yuyang didn't care about losing face. In the apocalypse, it wasn't easy to get oily water, let alone the delicious sauce. Boss Gu, it's so delicious. This self-heating rice cannot be exchanged without 7 or 8 crystal nuclei at their base. No, they don't even have the qualification to exchange it. The management team has directly taken away these good things, and it's not even their turn to take a look. Now, as long as you have 8 crystal nuclei, you can have a delicious meal. Feeling his still unsatisfied stomach, Sun Yuyang didn't continue to order. He planned to see the accommodation conditions here. At present, the hotel only has a single room, which costs 30 coins per day. A single room can accommodate up to 3 people, and an additional person would cost an additional 20 coins. Let me show you around first, and then you can decide whether to rent it or not. Gu Ji walked to a nearby corridor, where several wall lamps hung on both sides of the corridor, appearing bright and bright all around. The walls were covered with beautiful square solid-colored spot tiles, and the corridor was covered with a long red carpet, making it incredibly clean. Looking at everything in front of him, in a daze, Sun Yuyang felt as if he had returned to the days before the end. Chapter 5. Residence. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The 35 square meter single room has a large window, and the balcony shines through the window into the room. As you enter, it is a 1.5*2m bed. At this time, a clean cool mat has been laid on the bed, and there are also 2 white pillows on the mat. Beside the bedside is a wooden table and a chair, which is somewhat outdated but better than clean. The space in the independent bathroom is not large, except for a toilet, there is only a nearby wash basin. The wall on the wash basin is also pasted with a mirror, and there is actually a water heater above the area next to the toilet. Sun Yuyang casually twisted the faucet, but unexpectedly, water flowed out. This. Before he could ask, Guji replied, the single room comes with water and electricity, but this water is not drinkable and can only be used for washing items and taking a shower. If consumed, it will cause a burning sensation and harm to the body. Please do not try it easily. The water flowed down through my nails, it was incredibly clean and had no odor, and I couldn't drink it unfortunately. I didn't expect to be able to take a shower with such clean water. If you tell the team, they must feel like they're dreaming. Guest, do you want to rent it? If you don't rent it, you will be automatically driven out of the safe area at 12 p.m. Oh dear, Sun Ling held her brother's hand tightly, it was so beautiful here. There's also delicious cold water. There's also delicious meat. She wants to live here. Sun Chen is now 11 years old, a few years older than Sun Ling, and he has awakened his abilities. He naturally has much more exposure to affairs than his sister. He knows that this place is very good, but many things are not something he can get. Living here requires spending crystal nuclei, and his brother has to go out to fight every day. Those zombies are difficult to fight, and he will also be injured. If infected, even becoming infected, Sun Chen hung his head reluctantly. Feeling the strength of his younger sister tightly holding his hand, and then looking at his younger brother, whose eyes were filled with joy and gradually fading, Sun Yuyang couldn't understand. Although there is a free residence at the base, he has to pay a large amount of supplies every time he goes out for a mission, and the remaining supplies are distributed among him. Basically, there are 2 or 3 first-order crystal nuclei every time. Not all zombies have crystal nuclei in their heads, it all depends on luck. He is just a second-level superpower, and it is absolutely impossible for him to go out and kill zombies alone. Only by ascending to the 4th level or above can he control absolute power to face zombie swarms alone. Now he only has 6 first-order and 1 second-order crystal nuclei on his body. There are also 20 first-order and 5 second-order crystal nuclei that he has hidden under the ground of his residence in the base. This place is much better than the base. Their team has also been troubled by that old Biden, and the days ahead are unlikely to be easy. If the captain and his team all return safely, he plans to persuade his teammates to come here with their families. If the entire team is willing to come to the hotel, they can still go out in team mode to search for supplies in the future, without having to hand over the supplies. They can keep everything for their own use. He needs to go back alone, and if he is the only one, he should be more cautious and have higher safety. Thinking of this, Sun Yuyang quickly asked, "Boss, can I rent it for a few days first? I'll leave my younger siblings here and I'll go back to the base." Originally, we came out in a small team to search for supplies, but we got separated when we encountered zombies. If all the other team members are willing to come over, I plan to rent it for a long time. Do you think it's okay? Of course, you can rest assured that I will be responsible for the safety of every guest in the hotel, and only the check.in reporter can enter each room. No one else can enter unless under my leadership. However, you can completely rest assured about this. After hearing Gu Ji's words, Sun Yuyang breathed a sigh of relief. I applied for 2 cards for my younger brother and sister respectively, and each person filled in 2 first-order crystal cores. Seeing that the task had turned into a quarter, Gu Ji left happily, leaving the room for the 3 of them. After turning on the water heater, warm water sprayed onto the toilet tiles through the shower. Sun Yuyang smelled the sour smell on his body and decided to take a good shower first. After taking turns taking a shower, the 3 of them lay side by side on the bed. Sun Yuyang, who is now 24 years old and nearly 180 meters tall, could only stretch his feet out in the air while lying in bed. However, my younger sister slept just right and had some spare space. Quickly, the two of them happily rolled around on the bed and started playing around. I haven't heard my younger brother and sister smile so happily for a long time. Feeling the coolness brought by the cool mat behind them, coupled with running around all day and night, the three of them fell asleep in a daze. When he woke up, it was already dark and he still swiped his card to order 3 portions of 3 flavors of self-heating rice. He glanced at his sister and stared eagerly at the juice the boss was drinking. Sun Yuyang generously swiped 2 glasses of juice, which was still frozen. In this high temperature close to 50 degrees, eating steaming hot rice and drinking a cold drink is indeed comfortable. Su Xuqing and Tang Wen got separated from the team. One of them is a second-order water system, and the other is a first-order wood system. They hid in Tibet and killed several zombies, but they had no time to take out the crystal nucleus, so they had to continue running. They were more or less injured. In addition, they only ate half of mantu one day and one night, and no water came in. At this time, they were thirsty and had a sore throat. It's too hot. During the day, the coastal city was like burning on a furnace, with twisted heat everywhere on the road. Rest well tonight, we'll hurry back as soon as the sun rises in the morning. Tang Wen pursed his lips, and his cracked lips felt a bit sore. Su Xuqing sat on the ground leaning against the wall, panting heavily. They had just encountered a group of zombies again, and their psychic energy had consumed so much that they didn't even know where they had gone. Look, which one is not a light? They should be hiding in a hotel now. They found a room on the 3rd floor and hid inside. Through the window, Tang Wen seemed to see lights not far away. Are you feeling dizzy? There are no survivors living here anymore, even if there are high-level supernatural beings living alone, they cannot use electricity, which is an energy source that only shelters can have. No, it's really the light. Come and take a look. Tang Wen's voice was a bit urgent, and Su Shumei walked to the window without caring about her weak body. In the distance, it was pitch black, with only a broken neon light shining brightly. The two of them looked at each other and decided to take a break before touching and taking a look. Chapter 6. Meeting of Team Members. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Someone was chased by zombies again. These two superpowers also looked very embarrassed. Gu Ji stood in the hall, raised his hand and shook it again. Run here. Tang Wen looked incredulous. There really is a lamp. There are still people. The two quickly released various abilities and skills to run towards the location of the light. Quick! Quick! Close the door quickly. Su Xuqing gasped for breath. The girl smiled and said, Don't worry, they can't come in, you see. The two of them propped their knees and fixed their eyes. I knocked. The zombies were constantly colliding with the air ahead, as if something was blocking them. After a while, the group of zombies completely lost their target and began to wander around again. I haven't waited for them to inquire about anything yet. Surprise sounds echoed in the lobby. Su. Sister Su. Brother Tang. Sun Yuyang didn't expect to see a member of the team at the hotel. Yuyang. Why are you here? Tang Wen asked in surprise. I even saw the younger brothers and sisters behind Sun Yuyang, who had no scars on their bodies, and their originally dirty faces were now clean. Where's the captain? Is the captain with you? Both sides asked at the same time. I ran and hid along the way with my younger siblings, but I didn't see the captain. Tang Wen sighed and said, Originally, the captain was with us, but later we encountered a large group of zombies, and then we were scattered. The captain alone led away the third-order zombie, and I thought you would encounter it. Sun Yuyang patted Tang Wen's shoulder and said, Don't worry, brother. Even we can survive. Captain must be able to do it. Don't forget that Captain is a 3rd-level superpower, and he is also a peak that is about to break through the 4th level. He is not afraid of ordinary 3rd-level zombies at all. Yeah, without us, maybe the captain has already returned to the base. Su Xuqing quickly nodded and said. By the way, where is this? Why are you here? Tang Wen quickly asked. Gu Ji was left aside, watching them speak with a smile on his face. These are all her precious clients. By the way, let me introduce you to the hotel owner, Mr. Gu. Hello, I'm Gu Ji. Welcome to the Xianyan Hotel. The area within 3 meters of this hotel is a safe area, and zombies cannot enter or attack. It also blocks any other means of attack. Our hotel provides dining and accommodation services. A first-order crystal core can be exchanged for 200 coins, which can be used in our hotel to purchase water, fruit juice, food, and pay for room rates. At this moment, the two finally saw the face of the person waving at them clearly. The girl wearing a dress was tied high with a black ponytail, her hair was black and smooth, her cheeks were fair and translucent, her eyes were clear, her narrow eyelashes were slightly curled, and there was a faint tear mole under her right eye corner. When the girl smiled, she still had 2 deep dimples. Hush. Sweet girl. Clean sweet girl. Looking at Gu Ji with a head of smooth black hair, Su Xuqing touched her short hair. In the apocalyptic era, it was very troublesome for women to have long hair. One reason was that there was no water source to wash their hair, and it was also inconvenient, so basically everyone had short hair. Her hair was already extremely dry, and at the age of 27, she looked as old as almost 40. Not to mention the dark and rough skin. By comparison, Su Xuqing felt a bit bitter in her heart. Once upon a time, she was also a glamorous little princess loved by her parents. Apart from attending classes with roommates, she spent the rest of her time either shopping or watching TV dramas in her dormitory. Although life was mundane, she never had to worry about not having enough to eat and not being warm. Thinking of how I had dyed my curly brown hair in college, now I only have short hair that doesn't reach my ears. No need for Gujio to introduce more. Sun Yuyang has already led the 2 people to order 2 glasses of ice water, and also ordered 2 pieces of self-heating rice for them. Tang Wen wolfed down the lunch box and dug into his mouth, choking until he took a few sips of ice water. In less than a while, the lunch box was even cleaner than their faces. It's so delicious. I haven't had such fresh and delicious food since the end of the day. Tang Wen touched his stomach and exclaimed. Who isn't it? Others exclaimed. Under the leadership of Gu Ji, the 2 of them visited the single room again. Looking at the hot water sprayed from the shower, Su Xuqing decided not to return to the base at that moment. Anyway, she was now alone, and there were only some compressed expired cookies in the base room, and there was nothing else worth taking away except a few cans. The 3 of them discussed and decided to stay. It's just that Tang Wen's family still has his parents and wife. As the end of the day approaches, the construction of the base happens to be not far from his home, and they are also the first group of survivors to rush over, so the whole family is still here. Let's go back together tomorrow. Let's see if the captain has gone back. Take all the supplies that can be taken with you. Tang Wen's decision was made. Tang Wen's father is also a superpower, and he is also a third-order water system. In addition to the part they turn in after each mission, the 2 of them save a lot of crystal cores and save money. Mainly because the team his father joined was 1 level higher than his team, and the tasks he took on were also more difficult, but he could find more supplies and crystal cores. If it were thanks to him, his father, Su Shumei, Sun Yuyang, his younger brother, and the captain, their team would definitely live comfortably here. After all, the price is here. It's really too cheap. The price was so cheap that even Tang Wen felt heartbroken. I even had the idea of reselling, but this round trip takes a day, the journey is long, and the danger is extremely high. By the way, the hotel limits the purchase of only 10 cups of water per day, and limits the purchase of 10 pieces of each type of food. In the future, with more people, it is inevitable that no one will be tempted to resell. How could Guji let them do such a business, otherwise who would come to her place to recharge crystal core in the future? Upon hearing the boss's words, Tang Wen's last bit of caution was extinguished. It's okay if you can't make this money. Both of them also opened cards, and each person filled 3 crystal cores. Only the cost of purchasing water, food, or opening a room can be included in the consumption task, and recharging alone does not count. Fortunately, both of them rented it for 2 days at once. The daily turnover has reached 646, and it's only a few days away from 1,000 coins. Task 1 is already March 4th already. If they can bring their family over tomorrow, apply for housing, and buy some more food, tomorrow will be enough. After explaining the precautions, Guji said goodbye to them with a smile. Anyway, it was already dark and no guests were expected to come tonight. Guji simply closed the sensing door and returned to her small villa. The projection machines hanging in the living room and bedroom of the small villa can both see the scene at the hotel entrance, and if there are guests coming, she can also know at the first time. Chapter 7. Return to base. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Before dawn, Tang Wen, Su Xuqing, and Sun Yuyang were already waiting at the L-shaped bar in the lobby. The 3 of them drank 2 large glasses of water each and had a portion of self-cooked rice before deciding to return to the base as soon as possible. Sun Yuyang greeted his younger siblings and asked them not to come out of the room casually. If they were hungry, they would come out to buy something and go back to the room to eat. After explaining, the 3 of them quickly set off while the sun was not bright enough. After eating and drinking well, coupled with a peaceful night's sleep, there is no need to worry about someone sneaking in to steal resources, nor is there any need to worry about zombies attacking. After taking a hot bath, you can still lie on a cool mat, which is simply not too comfortable. I slept too much this night, and now my body is also full of supernatural energy. The 3 of them rushed back all the way with one go. When you're tired, take a nap in a sturdy high-rise building. The journey, which originally took 6 or 7 hours to walk, forced them to run in just over 3 hours. As we approached the base, the air began to heat up. The 3 of them covered their faces, hands, and feet with sand and dust, and rolled on the ground a few times to make sure they looked embarrassed before staggering and supporting each other as they walked into the base. Su Xuqing went back to pack his things, Tang Wen went back to discuss with his family, and Sun Yuyang went to the captain's house to find him. Tang Wen's residence is an old apartment, filled with about 10 households. He lives with his parents and wife on the 4th floor, where there are 3 other households besides their own. Those who can live here have at least 1/3 level superpower at home, and at least they can drink water and eat half full in this base. You can still use electricity for an hour at night, and blowing a fan is a luxurious enjoyment. Tang Wen's father, Tang Guoqiang, is 56 years old this year. As a superpower, his physical fitness is much better than that of ordinary people. In addition, he goes out to search for supplies and even fights with zombies, which has helped him train his muscles. His mother and wife are both ordinary people. When he and his father go out to work on weekdays, the 2 of them stay at home waiting for them to return. Dad, I want to discuss something with you. 32-year-old Tang Wen stood in front of his father, who was covered in tendrils, and involuntarily swallowed his saliva. What's going on? Dad, you also know that my team has offended Lin Bin, that old beast. He actually wants Yuyang's sister. His sister is only 7 years old. This is just a beast. The task we received yesterday was indeed greeted by him, asking us to go to the shopping street in Rongfeng Street in the city center to search for supplies. If it weren't for us running fast, I probably wouldn't be able to come back today. Tang Guoqiang naturally knew Lin Bin, who, like him, was a 3rd order superpower. And he also knew that he was committing crimes based on his father-in-law's identity at the base. He cared about any survivor of the entire base who had not awakened any abilities, as long as she was a young and somewhat beautiful woman. He has always disliked this kind of person, but under the eaves of others, many things are forced. He can't stand it, even if he goes to the other two bases, such things still exist. This world is like this now. Where else is there a safe and peaceful place? Now their family has taken root in the Xianyan base. As long as he and his son work hard, at least the family will not starve to death, and there is no need to worry about a zombie army attacking. After all, the entire Xianyan base can have a total of 40,000 people, including 3,000 people with superpowers alone. The strongest in the base are 7th level masters, with over 34th level ones and 103rd level ones. Dad, we found a place yesterday. Do you remember the Xianyan Hotel? Tangguiqiang sounds a bit familiar. It's the super large 5-star hotel with dozens of floors at the intersection of the shopping mall center. Remember, what's wrong? Tangguiqiang remembered when he heard about 5-star rating. He had once hosted clients there and stayed overnight. Dad, do you know that the hotel has reopened? Although there aren't many rooms now, there's a lot of water, electricity, and a lot of food there. Tangguiqiang looked at his son like a fool. Water. Electricity. Do you know that there are 25 healing supernatural beings in our Xianyan base? Only those 25 can purify less than 20 tons of water every day, and it's a luxury to have a few sips of it. Also, electricity. If it weren't for me being a 3rd-level person, I wouldn't be able to live in this apartment. Being able to power for only 1 hour every night would make 80% of the people in the base envious. Are you telling me now that there is a place with a lot of water and electricity? Tangwen became a bit anxious and said, Dad, really, do you think your son can lie? And there is absolutely safe there. Zombies dare not approach and will not attack. It is very safe inside. Everyone can rent a room, and no one else can enter. Mom and Chi-Chi can stay at ease then. We don't need to worry about their safety when we go out. And the prices there are particularly low. A glass of water only costs 1 crystal coin, and the first-level crystal nucleus can be exchanged for 200 crystal coins. Dad. Really? My son's words are too absurd. Tangguiqiang rubbed his temples and said, Really? It's true that Su Xuqing and Sun Yuyang stayed inside all night in person, and I also had 2 boxes of self-heating rice. By the way, Sun Yuyang has already opened a room, and his younger brother and sister are currently in that hotel. We came back this time to discuss with you whether to move out. Dad, what do you think? Dad, think about it. You are a 3rd-level superpower, I am a 2nd level, and my captain is also a 3rd level. Although the rest of us only have 1st or 2nd levels, we can form our own team to sweep zombies and obtain crystal cores. Moreover, there is no need to turn in supplies, and we can earn as much as we need every day. The room there only costs 30 coins per day, and 900 coins per month is less than 5 first-order crystals. If we don't hand in the supplies, we can make a profit in 2 or 3 days, Dad. Dong Lanjun didn't understand these things. After listening to her son's words, she wondered if he had gone crazy. Where is there such a good place? There is also hot water for bathing in the room. There is clean water and rice, meat, and vegetables to eat. Their family doesn't eat many meals of rice a month, and they still cook aged rice mixed with coarse grains. I'll ask you a few questions. 1. How long can the water and electricity there last? 2. Will that hotel stay open? 3. The boss heard you say she's just a young girl. Does she have the ability to protect herself? Does she have the ability to protect that hotel? After listening to his father's words, Tang Wen suffered a bitter meal. He didn't reach this level, but he thought of the cold and clean water, the constantly lit lights, delicious self-heating rice, and the mysterious safety zone. He wants to take a gamble, even if the hotel won't last in the future, they can go to another base. With his and his father's abilities, he is fully capable of living on. Chapter 8. Task Completion. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Sun Yuyan went to the captain's house, but the captain hasn't returned yet. At this moment, a bit of panic surged in my heart. The captain wouldn't be trapped by the zombie swarm, would he? Just in case, Sun Yuyan found a pen and paper and wrote a note with a stone pressed on his desk, not afraid of being discovered by people from other bases, but afraid that the captain would not be able to see it when he returned. After returning home, he dug out all the crystal nuclei buried in the soil, found a slightly worn-out backpack, and stuffed the clothes and shoes that he could still wear, as well as the compressed biscuit cans he had previously purchased, into them. The crystal nucleus was wrapped in lotus, tied with a rope, and stuffed into his clothes, bouncing back and forth to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Su Xuqing didn't have much, so she took a bag and packed everything she could use. After they met, they were ready to go to Tang Wenjiao. When the two of them knocked on the door and entered, they could both feel the low air pressure in the room. Tang Wen sat on the chair with a worried expression on his face. "Dad, Yu Yan and Su Xuqing are here. You can ask them if what I said is true." The two of them suddenly understood that Tang Wen's family probably didn't believe what he said. "Uncle Tang. What Brother Tang said is true. I was the first person to discover that hotel. We started to get separated, and I was chased by zombies with my younger brother and sister. If it weren't for the boss calling me in, I would have been a wandering zombie by now. At present, the hotel only has single rooms, but there is hot water for bathing. Crystal core can be exchanged for crystal coins to buy a lot of food and drink, and the price is very cheap, which is not comparable to the base. The owner's methods are very sophisticated, and the area within 3 meters outside the hotel is absolutely safe, so there is no fear of zombies entering." "That's right, what Yu Yang said is true. I was there with Tang Ge last night, and I haven't taken a shower for too long. If you don't believe me, you can smell it. Isn't there such a strong smell in my hair and body?" Su Xuqing quickly pulled Tang Wen's wife and touched her hair. Tang Wen's wife took a closer sniff and found that there wasn't much smell left, only a slight sour smell, much lighter than the smell on her hair. "Really, Xiaoqing's hair has been washed. Have you ever washed your hair? Women only need to take a glance and touch it a few times to know." Tang Guoqiang pondered for a long time, but it was just that his son offended Lin Bin. Even if he was a third-level superpower, he couldn't guarantee that Lin Bin would give them eye drops. In addition, Lin Bin himself had a small heart and bad temper, so he couldn't guarantee that he would do anything. He deeply remembers the look Lin Bin gave to his daughter-in-law once, which was a look that only men could understand. Now that the two of them are on a mission, there is only a wife and daughter-in-law left at home who are powerless. It's impossible to say you're not worried. Moreover, the situation at the base is getting worse and worse. In previous years, only 20% was drawn, but now it has been drawn to 40%. Nearly half of the supplies need to be handed over. Apart from daily expenses, there are not many crystal cores stored. The ones locked in the safe are all temporarily inactive just in case. In addition to being able to purchase supplies at the base, the crystal core can also absorb the energy from it for cultivation. He spent a lot of crystal cores breaking through from the second level to the third level. In this world, only with strong personal abilities can one truly protect their family. After deciding to move out, Tang Wen breathed a sigh of relief in an instant. Thinking of the good days ahead, people in their 30s were instantly excited, not to mention Sun Yuyan. Thinking of the future, their team didn't need to hand over the crystal nuclei they obtained from killing zombies, and how much more rice could they eat with the saved crystal nuclei? There is a lot of noise about their family moving. In order to avoid being noticed, they decided not to take away the pots and pans. Take only a few pieces of clothing, as well as the food and crystal nucleus you have stored, and don't bring anything more. At 20:37 p.m. Guji lay bored on the table. There is no TV to watch, no novels to read, and no games to play. It's so boring. Besides seducing those silly people outside, it's not much fun to get tired of it. Boom. There was a loud noise coming from outside. Hey! Someone! Gu Ji quickly walked to the hotel and took a closer look at Sun Yuyang and the others who ran out of the smoke. Sun Yuyang and his 6 companions ran and rested along the way, killing dozens of zombies and digging up many crystal nuclei. They were already half exhausted now, but fortunately there was a 3rd-rank member in the team. They took turns resting along the way, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to arrive so quickly. After entering the safety zone, the zombies clashed against the air. Tang Guoqiang squinted his eyes and carefully felt the fluctuations in the air ahead. He could vaguely feel a powerful energy enveloping this place. There were several 3rd or even 4th-order zombies in the group of zombies in front of him, but they were all blocked 3 meters away. Unbelievable. It can only be said that the person who established this energy shield is at least a level 6 or 7 superpower. If that's the case, then the safety has greatly improved and I feel relieved. Brother, you're back. Sun Ling ran and threw herself into Sun Yuyang's arms. She was really worried. Without the need for Gu Ji's introduction, Tang Wen quickly ordered a few cups of water for his parents and wife. The transparent and thick cup was filled with incredibly clear water, and there was no unpleasant or pungent smell. Tang Wen drank half of the cup in one breath. Seeing that his son had already drunk, Tang Guoqiang and his wife quickly started drinking. The entrance is sweet and refreshing, without any burning sensation of corrosion in the throat, only gentle and moisturizing. The originally restless internal organs suddenly came to life, and the whole person felt refreshing from the inside out. Tang Guoqiang drank several glasses of water in one breath, and he used the most supernatural energy along the way. The supernatural energy in his body had already been completely drained just now. Their family of 4 happens to rent 2 single rooms. After seeing that hot water really flowed out of the water heater, Tang Wen's mother and wife ignored their hunger and only wanted to take a good shower. In the base, not to mention taking a shower, only wealthy families can wash their faces and brush their teeth every day. They can only pick up ice and snow in the wild and extremely cold climates and store them at home. Those ice and snow are slightly cleaner than the water in rivers, probably purified by nature, and then filtered through charcoal, which can barely be used to wipe their bodies and hair. Under the guidance of his son, Tang Guoqiang bought a box of self-heating rice with pickled pork and plums. While waiting for his wife to take a shower, he had already finished 2 boxes. In recent years, there have been few people who have eaten so much. Ding rental task. The initial room April 4th has been completed and room 105/106 has been unlocked. Ding consumption task. Spending over 1,000 crystal coins has been completed. The double room type has been unlocked, and room 201/202/203/204 has been unlocked. At this point, the thick chains on the spiral staircase next to the reception desk were no longer visible, and the previously gray mist had dissipated. 2 wall lamps emitting white light appeared in the middle of the staircase against the wall, illuminating the staircase brightly. The staircase railing is designed with hollow patterns and belongs to the European style. Watching everyone else in the hall eat and drink what they should, Gu Ji walked quickly towards the 2nd floor with great strides. Chapter 9. New Tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 2nd floor is the same as the 1st floor, with long aisles on both sides and 2 guest rooms on each side. Further inside, the walls are out of reach, only a mist can be seen. A double room is much larger than a single room, with an area of 55 square meters. The room has 2 1.5*2m beds, tables, chairs, and wardrobes. The bathroom is no longer a large glass window, but a small balcony. There is actually a washing machine on the balcony. A double room costs 50 coins per day, with an additional 20 coins for an additional person. It can accommodate up to 4 people. The taskbar has refreshed many tasks. Rental task. All rooms are fully booked for April 10th, with rewards of single room +4 and double room +2, consumption task. Consume 0/2000 crystal coins, unlock 2 types of juice and 3 types of food cabinet, points task. Recharge 3000 points to unlock the air conditioning equipment. The lobby will be installed for free by the system, and the air conditioning in the guest room needs to be redeemed with points. This is good. If it weren't for the fear of missing out on the client, Guji would have wanted to hide in the villa and not come out. Although he could see the surrounding situation through the projector, he was just afraid of a contingency. Nowadays, the temperature outside is close to 50 degrees, and the indoor temperature is also around 40 degrees. She's almost overheating to death. Now the interface has updated the points value. The crystal coins recharged by customers are equal to points, and 1 crystal coin is equal to 1 point. Points can only be used by Guji. Points can be used to decorate hotels, exchange basic equipment, etc. When the basic building score on each floor reaches the full level, it can be upgraded from the system to luxury mode. Nowadays, the first floor building is only worth 300 points, with an additional 30 points for each single room. The foundation of the lobby is worth 80 points, while scattered items such as chandeliers, wall tiles, corridor carpets, etc. add up to only 40 points. Nowadays, it takes 20,000 points to reach the full level on the first floor. It's okay, take your time. This is only a few days. Guji is not in a hurry. Anyway, it is already the last inner world. Even if she stays here for decades to complete the task, she can afford to wait. Hey! The second floor is open now, Boss Gu. Sun Yuyang saw Guji walking down from the second floor and quickly asked. At this point, the hall was already filled with people, and those who didn't have a seat didn't hesitate to sit cross-legged on the ground. Anyway, the floor of the hall was also covered with a clean layer of fluffy red carpet. Well, by the way, a double room is open on the second floor. Do you have anything that needs to be changed? A double room costs 50 coins per day, with an additional 20 coins for every additional person. It can accommodate up to 4 people. However, if replaced, the extra spent coins cannot be returned. Everyone nodded and shouted to go and take a look. Wow, there's also a balcony here. There's also a washing machine here. Su Xuqing and Tang Wen's wife are of similar age, and the two quickly took a look here and there. Even the independent bathroom has become much larger, and they have done a wet-dry separation. Apart from Su Xuanqing, Sun Yuyang decided to switch to a double room, and Tang Wen and his family also decided to switch to a double room. Anyway, a single room for 2 people costs 50 coins, and a double room costs 50 coins per day. It's better to switch to a larger room. Guji operated on the light screen and informed them that they had changed rooms, and then they moved their luggage back to the second floor. Chen Qiqi had already taken a shower and had a delicious meal of potato curry chicken self-heating rice. The rich curry sauce wrapped the soft and sweet potato balls, and the cooked soft and tender chicken with the sauce was so delicious that the taste buds exploded. Tang Wen felt very sorry for his wife. After getting married, they accidentally became pregnant, but by then it was already the end of the world. Along the way, coupled with malnutrition and excessive fright, his wife had suffered a miscarriage. However, at that time, it was difficult to find a doctor, let alone a hospital. Qiqi could be said to have borne it on her own. Due to the failure to supplement nutrition in a timely manner after the miscarriage, Qiqi's wife was weak, and in addition, she lost her child, causing her to feel mentally drained for a while. Over the past few years, I have taken root in the Suyang base and gradually improved. Looking at his wife's sparkling eyes now, Tang Wen felt that everything was worth it. Now Su Xuqing lives alone on the first floor at 102, Sun Yuyang and his younger brother and sister at 201, Tang Wen and his wife at 202, and Tang Guoqiang and his wife at 203. They have all directly renewed their lease for a month. As for Crystal Core, they are not worried. They have agreed to rest overnight and set off early tomorrow to search around. Firstly, they will kill the zombies to obtain crystal core. Secondly, they will check if there are any tools that can still be used in the surrounding shops. After all, the furniture in the guest rooms is basic, so they still need to find what they need. The third is to find the captain of their team. Guji looked at 4 out of 10 of the task and sighed in his heart. It's okay, I'm not in a hurry. The consumption task has already been completed with a crystal coin consumption of 2000/2000. 2 types of juice have been unlocked, watermelon juice and grape juice. They are all things she likes to drink. Especially in the summer, drinking a cup of cold and refreshing watermelon juice is really comfortable. There are also 3 new types of food cabinet, babeo kanji, taro sandwich toast and self-heating small hot pot. Fruit juice is still 3 crystal coins per cup, babeo kanji is 4 crystal coins per can, toast is 2 crystal coins, and self-heating hot pot is 8 crystal coins. Guji ordered a cup of watermelon juice, which tasted even sweeter and more refreshing than what she drank in the original world. The food produced by the system indeed had top-notch flavors. Although he had dinner, Guji couldn't help but take a box after seeing hot pot. There are broad noodles, potato chips, lotus root slices, agaric, kelp, bamboo shoots, beef balls and sausages in the small hot pot. The taste is spicy. She is an authentic southerner who has never eaten chili since childhood. She only came into contact with chili in the school cafeteria after entering high school, and then developed an uncontrollable liking for spicy food. The pickled peppers and chicken feet, spicy strips, small fish, spicy lotus root slices, seaweed, shredded potatoes, golden needle mushrooms, and so on in the snack bar can't stop eating. Hiss-ha, a mouthful of watermelon juice, a mouthful of potato chips soaked in spicy soup, and another mouthful of noodles soaked in spicy soup. The taste is simply amazing. When Sun Yuyang came down, he saw Mr. Gu sitting at the reception desk, enjoying hot pot with a strong and spicy aroma that instantly filled the entire space. The taste was too domineering to be smelled. "Boss, are you eating hot pot?" Guji took a sniff and pointed to the machine, saying, "I just got a new one, you can go and take a look." There were 3 more types of food in the food cabinet, each of which he had eaten before. Now that he saw the familiar packaging, his memories instantly pulled back to the past. "I didn't expect the hotel to have even these." After thinking about the remaining crystal cores, Sun Yuyang still held back his buying mood. After all, if he could save some now, he would save some. If he had more profits in the next few days, he would buy a little more of each for his younger siblings to taste. Afraid of being seduced by the smell, Sun Yuyang quickly took a glass of water and ran back to his room. "It's too scary. Stay 1 more second and you'll be buying. Ding, you have a new task, consumption task. Consume 0/3000 coins to unlock 2 types of juice and 2 types of food. It seems that the tasks consumed by these crystal coins have always been increasing." Chapter 10. Superior Location. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Yunfeng lay in the grocery store, covering the wound on his arm. His arm was not scratched by a zombie, otherwise he would have become a polluter long ago. This is a steel pipe that he was scratched by while evading attacks while fighting zombies. There are too many zombies here, although their levels are not particularly high, they are mostly 1.4 levels, but the number is too many. The psychic energy in a person's body is limited. He has been hiding everywhere these past few days. He could have gone back long ago. He is a road crazy. Plus, the map is in Tang Wen's hands. Now he has been circling around, and if Tang Wen and his team return safely and find that he hasn't returned, they will definitely find a way to come back here and find him again. He trusts his team members. Early in the morning, Tang Wen and others set off with water and food. Guji was idle and hiding in the villa, while Tang Wen's wife and mother were willing to stay in the hall waiting for them to return. Guji also asked the two of them to help take a look at the store. If anyone needed help, they could be generously recruited. As long as they entered a safe area within 3 meters, she could come out to pick up guests. For a small request from the boss, Li Qiqi quickly nodded and agreed. It was a convenient matter, and coupled with watching the girl blink her watery eyes, Li Qiqi couldn't resist. The geographical location of Xianyan Hotel is excellent. The 3 refuge bases in Binhai City are all close in distance. The hotel is located to the southeast of the intersection. If you walk north for more than 20 kilometers, you will find the B.level Luyue base. If you walk west for about 40 kilometers, you will find the A.level Jianshan base. If you walk east and west for about 30 kilometers, you will find the C.level Suyang base. This is the center of Binhai City and once the most prosperous shopping center. The tall buildings around are mostly shopping malls, hotels, and various entertainment venues, with rows of various types of shops below. It is precisely because this place is too prosperous that when the zombie virus broke out, it was also the earliest to fall. There are too many people. Everywhere is crowded with people. In just a few days, the number of people infected here has reached hundreds of thousands. The 3 bases are all located in slightly remote areas of the city. But also because of its prosperity and abundant resources, many high-level teams of psychics often come here to search. However, in the past few years, most of the good things that can be found have been looted. The rest is to search through the wreckage and ruins. If you're lucky enough to find an underground warehouse or something like that, there might still be a large amount of undiscovered supplies. Nowadays, except for the heavily guarded military base in the capital of Zhengzhou, Kyoto, only A.level bases in the other 9 major cities are guarded by officials sent by the military and government, while the remaining B.level and C.level bases are basically independently built by individual or multi-party forces. And those so-called D/E/F level bases cannot be called bases yet, they can only be said to be larger shelters, with a general population of several hundred to several thousand people. Usually, neighbors know their roots and trust each other. They don't want to leave their place of residence or enter the base to be exploited layer by layer, so they have to occupy certain high-rise buildings and decorate and reinforce them to barely defend against zombie invasion. Zhang Chang and Li San are members of a small team in the B.level base Luyue base. Both of them are 3rd-level superpowers, and the other 4 in the team are also 2nd and 3rd-level superpowers. As long as this team does not get involved in a large zombie swarm, the city center is not particularly dangerous for them. Now their teams are separated in pairs and searching for supplies in the surrounding shops. Zhang Chang and Li San complained about the hot weather all the way. This place has been turned over and I don't know what to find. It's better to kill a few zombies and take some crystal cores back. Li San nodded in agreement and said, yes, this damn weather will only get hotter and hotter in the future. I can still tolerate hoarding more crystal cores now. I won't come up with any tasks for the next 2 months. Mouth complaining, not just searching for stores one by one. The 2 of them took countless turns and searched for many shops, but when they left the intersection, besides dozens of wandering 1st and 2nd order zombies, there was also a clean glass room in the distance. Shit! Li San, look, what's that? Li San lifted his head and his eyes showed surprise. That's a hotel. There seems to be someone inside. The 2 of them sweated and ran over from the pile of zombies, using their powers as they entered the hotel area. The zombies who were originally chasing them all collided with the invisible wall, and several zombies who were too forceful even knocked their own heads off. Watching the zombie in front of me speechless and furious, I quickly wandered around and left. The 2 exchanged a glance and swallowed their saliva. What kind of cult place is this? When Qianqiqi saw someone, her eyes lit up instantly and she said, hello everyone. Come in quickly. Qianqiqi, who had taken a shower, washed her hair, and washed her clothes again, now looks much cleaner. Originally, Qianqiqi was an 8-point beauty. Although she suffered from the ravages of the apocalypse, she is now clean and tidy. Compared to other women in the apocalypse who were disheveled, dirty, and smelly, Chen Qiqi instantly became a 9-point beauty in the eyes of Zhang Chang and Zhang Chang. Zhang Chang and Li San, relying on their third-level abilities, have several lovers at the base. The snow water saved during extremely cold weather is barely enough for them to use. Although they are cleaner than other women, the woman in front of them is even more beautiful. There is also a lingering charm. Zhang Chang whistled and said, "Wow, where did the beautiful girl come from?" When she saw Zhang Chang and the others stepping into the safe area, Gu Ji had already arrived in the hall, but she stood silently in the shadow below the stairs, watching everything in front of her. Chen Qiqi originally had a smile on her face, but now she looked at Zhang Chang's disgusted expression and her smile instantly faded away. Oh, why aren't beauties laughing anymore? Is this where beautiful girls live? Zhang Chang and Li San walked in casually and were immediately attracted by the nearby machine. The two of them stepped forward and saw that there was so much food in the cabinet. There is also a water dispenser and a juice dispenser next to it. Here originally, my heart was only filled with lust, but now greed has taken over my heart. These two women seem to have no supernatural fluctuations, yet they are guarding such a good thing. Li San kicked the cabinet, but the contents inside couldn't fall at all, and he couldn't find the place to open the cabinet. "Hey, ladies, come over and open this cabinet for me." Chen Qiqi suddenly felt flustered, silently thinking to herself why the boss hadn't come yet. Tang Wen's wife became more determined at this moment. Everything here needs to be bought with crystal coins. Crystal coins are needed to exchange, and only with money can one get them. Those cabinets cannot be opened. Stinky old ladies, what the hell are you doing? I still need to spend money on things. Why don't you come over and drive? Otherwise, the little beauty next to me, hee, don't blame my buddies for not knowing the importance of the action. Upon hearing the shameless words of those two people, Dong Lanjun trembled with anger.